have, and we voted no. We put Georgia first, Savannah. But every single Republican member of Congress who is supposed to represent Georgia, who is supposed to put loyalty to Georgia as their highest priority, instead they chose loyalty to Donald Trump. Think about this. They're destroying the Medicaid program when 40% of all kids in Georgia are covered by Medicaid. 50% of all births, 50% of all births in Georgia are covered by Medicaid. 70% of all seniors in nursing homes in Georgia are covered by Medicaid. There are now 37 Georgia nursing homes at risk of closure because of this law, and 7 of them are less than 2 hours from where we are right now.
Donald Trump has been screwed over by everyone around him during this Epstein scandal. MAGA has turned on him. His cabinet members have humiliated him. MAGA media has thrown Donald Trump under the bus. But never did he expect his own family to screw him, which is exactly what happened when a member of the Trump family dropped a bombshell on Donald Trump that is blowing up this entire Epstein scandal as he scrambles to cover it all up. We are going to get into it and how bad it is for Donald Trump. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we're doing on this channel. Now, before we can get into this new bombshell that is screwing Donald Trump, I want to start with what everyone in his administration has previously said about how much more there is to these Epstein files.
I'm not saying it's not there. Who are you going to get
that? For instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? There's... Oh,
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school. Yeah. We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word, or whoever that guy is, as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
I think it's important that we differentiate between those in Donald Trump's administration pushing the Epstein conspiracy theory and exploiting the Epstein conspiracy theories. But that is what is going on. The exploitation of victims who had their lives ruined or ended by this criminal and those around him. And Donald Trump has essentially made it a plaything. They think it is a joke. They thought that they could string MAGA along as they always had without them getting mad, but it is completely backfired. So either Donald Trump is in these documents and hiding them, or they have overpromised and have nothing to deliver. Now, I think it could actually be a combination of both of those things, but the only way we'll know is if they do what they promised, which is bring forth the documents, which is something Rwanda is causing a lot of problems for Donald Trump by calling on Congress to make that happen. House Democrats tried to force release of Epstein files. Several House Democrats are mounting long-shot efforts to force a House vote on making Attorney General Pam Bondi release all records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Democrats are hoping to take advantage of a blow-up between Donald Trump and his base over the Epstein files by forcing their GOP colleagues to choose between them. Rep. Sir Ro Khanna told Axios he will file an amendment to the Genius Act, a cryptocurrency bill slated to be marked up by the House Rules Committee on Tuesday. The amendment, a copy of which was obtained by Axios, would require Bandy to retain, preserve, and compile any records of evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Epstein. Bandy would have to release and publish the records on a publicly available website within 30 days of the Genius Act being signed into law. Mark Vesey, a Democrat of Texas, also said on social media that he plans to introduce a resolution demanding the Trump administration release the Epstein files. Neither Khanna's amendment nor Vesey's resolution is likely to make it to the House floor, though, much less passed. But both lawmakers hope to at least embarrass the GOP in the process. The Rules Committee is comprised of 9 Republicans and 4 Democrats, and usually takes its cues from leadership. Some Republicans on the panel, though, may be placed in a difficult position of having to side with either Trump or the MAGA base if forced to vote on whether Khanna's amendment can be added to the bill. Vess will also be a highlighting whether or not his resolution obtains any Republican co-sponsors. So Ro Khanna is demanding these documents be put forward, and what is the line that we're getting from Donald Trump and Pam Bandy? That there are no documents that the public needs to see, that we've published everything, we've given you everything, you're all good. Those little stupid binders we handed out, that's it. We have nothing more to offer. That is what Donald Trump has said. Shut up about it. Because we have nothing more to offer until a member of his own family in Laura Trump dropped a bombshell about what the administration will actually be doing going forward, and we just got to take a look. Laura Trump totally counters Trump admin message on Epstein vows there will be more transparency on DOJ files. Laura Trump, President Trump's daughter-in-law, told MAGA influencer Benny Johnson on Monday that she believes the Trump administration will offer more transparency soon on the so-called Epstein files. What would be your advice given this back and forth? We're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. This was the topic of conversation. What would your advice be in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration? Johnson asked the Fox News host, referring to the ongoing backlash within MAGA world and what the DOJ said Jeffrey Epstein's client list does not exist. Well, I do think there needs to be more transparency on this, and I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. Laura Trump replied, adding, he does want transparency on all these fronts, that everything we're talking about, because it's frustrated him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did and saw lie after lie, our country just being sent down the wrong path. And it was really frightening, very upsetting to a lot of people to see. Laura Trump's statement appeared to contradict the wishes of the president, who over the weekend urged his supporters to not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. But the president's daughter-in-law seemingly countered that message, acknowledging vast interest in Epstein's, the president's base, and insisting that there's more information coming out. The joint FBI-DOJ memo, which kicked off the wave of ongoing backlash, explicitly stated that after the Trump administration's review, it is the determination of the DOJ and FBI that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. So in a moment in which Donald Trump is saying, "Look over there, please do not focus on this scandal blowing up right now," Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are saying, "We will be publishing no more information. There is nothing important left. Nothing more is coming." But Laura Trump goes out there and says, "Count on some more stuff. You're finally going to get the documents, people. Let's hype it back up." She is completely screwing Trump with this bombshell announcement that more is to come. Betrayal is the consistent theme of Donald Trump's administration. And someone who made that very clear recently was Senator Jon Ossoff. This clip is right here.
Now, Savannah, I'm here with a report from our nation's capital. And it's not good news. See, it turns out that when Donald Trump said he was going to fight for working class Americans, what he really meant was he was going to take away your health care to cut taxes for the rich. That's what he really meant. Now, you may remember we were told that this was a different Republican Party. We were told Donald Trump's new GOP cared about working people. But Savannah, you can't claim to be for working men and women when you defund their hospitals and nursing homes. You can't claim to be for working men and women when you defund school lunch programs to help feed little boys and little girls whose hardworking parents are struggling to fill the fridge. You definitely can't claim to be for working men and women when you do these things so you can cut taxes for the richest people in the country. Now, there was a Republican senator with the integrity to oppose this, Tom Tillis of North Carolina. Did y'all see that? He was on the Senate floor. He was pleading with Republicans to do the right thing. Senator Tillis warned that 663,000 North Carolinians will be pushed off Medicaid. He warned that President Trump was breaking his promises. He took a stand and he voted against the bill, and they ran him right out of the Republican Party for it. Now, it took courage, what Senator Tillis did. But among the Republicans who represent Georgia in Congress, no such courage was to be found. Just yes, sir, no, sir, Mr. Trump. Now, let me tell you, let me just tell you what it was like in Washington these last 6 months. See, we had the leaders of Georgia's clinics and hospitals and nursing homes, caregivers for seniors and the disabled, nurses and doctors, teachers and school principals, the folks who run food pantries. They all came up to Washington and they begged Georgia's representatives in Congress. They said, please don't do this. They said it's going to be devastating for health care and kids and seniors. And I want you to know, but Senator Warnock and I, we listened. We listened. And we fought that bill with everything we have, and we voted no. We put Georgia first, Savannah. But every single Republican member of Congress who is supposed to represent Georgia, who is supposed to put loyalty to Georgia as their highest priority,
the theme of Donald Trump presidency has been betrayal again and again. It is all we have seen play out, and it will continue to happen. I cannot believe that Donald Trump went on record to say more is coming when Donald Trump wants to oppose it. But she has once again gotten him into a lot of trouble that we will be covering if you want. But she has once again gotten him into a lot of trouble that we will be covering. Thanks for watching this video, and if you stuck around at then you can drop the blue heart in the comments, and until next time I will see you soon.